Let's be revolutionary. Yeah, we can be so much more. Let's be more than ordinary.
Welcome to Focus Forward Business Design. I am Lee Wilson, your certified high performance coach. So this month I'm really wanting to dig deep on goals. I talked about this last week and how it seems like goals have become the new buzzword, and they're really not given the credit to be as large and powerful as they can and they should be. Simple items that should be on a to-do list become a goal. Ridiculous, right? Have we become so non-motivated that the simple functions that we need to do just to exist, or we should do to just be caring, giving, loving people, have to be a goal? I certainly hope not, and for the sake of argument, we're going to assume that if you're interested in personal and or business development, and you're watching this, you do not need teeny tiny goals to make sure that you get the laundry done. Let's really look at this on a larger level, because you being a high achiever depends on the best tools and the best methods to move you forward faster, more efficiently, and at a higher level than most people. To use the goals as a tool, that requires us to really look at the different ways that goals can be used so we don't drop the ball and we never complete the final mission. That being said, you will determine as you start working towards a goal that it may not be the right path and you may totally abandon it. That's okay, and in fact, it's great to make that determination before you spend more valuable time on something that's not the right fit. So this week, we're going to break down the difference between process goals and outcome goals. These are very intertwined, but they have entirely different purposes. Process goals are their stepping stones to achieve the larger goal. If you did not get a chance to listen to last week, I encourage you to go back, review that as we talk in depth about the importance of a plan. So if you think of the process as a plan, that will likely start putting the pieces all together for you. So often we become obsessed with the great big end goal or the results that we never put a process in place to get there. And then we're so frustrated and disappointed when we never succeed at reaching the goal. In fact, without a plan, whatever had us so excited in the first place may very likely direct us incorrectly to behaviors or a mindset that do us absolutely no favors. Now, in our own defense, the prize at the end of the journey is bright, it's shiny, it's very enticing, and it may change our lives. But we all know that even the wish we make when we see a shooting star generally has some pieces that have to occur to be produced to have the wish come true. Without the plan or a process, that goal is just a wish. So this is the problem with focusing on our outcome goals. It's far too big for us to get without some steps on the front end, and it's typically further in the future than our motivation level will hold us without some celebrations along the way. So let's look at an outcome goal of losing 20 pounds. I use this one because most people can either personally relate or they know somebody that has set this outcome goal. Every day they step on the scale, setting themselves up for disappointment because the goal that will achieve happiness is losing the 20 pounds. They've given themselves one chance to be successful. So in other words, until they lose the 20 pounds, if they succeed, they're continually focusing on what they don't have, rather than really concentrating on what they have total control over. These are the steps, the processes, the plan, whatever you choose to call it. This is what gives you that high likelihood of success in reaching the outcome goal. By focusing on the smaller pieces that are taking you in the direction of the ultimate goal, this allows you to see progress. Whereas if you are one that tends to only see failure until the mission is complete, then you'll very likely find yourself unhappy and grumpy with yourself and the results that you are seeing. This can happen so easily if we get tangled up trying to reach the top of the mountain and we don't enjoy the scenery all the way up. I know that because I am a process freak, I end up learning so much about something I didn't even know I needed to know on the way to something larger. This is so great when I discover a new way of doing something or a new skill that was designed to reach the outcome goal, and now I have that to lean on in the future. It wasn't even on my radar, yet now I've learned something and possibly it may just help my efficiency on my next big dream. So let's look at the ways at which we measure success. As I mentioned earlier, measuring success only when the outcome goal is reached can make it difficult to ever get to the outcome. Or at the very least, it may be less than an enjoyable journey. By the time you get to the goal, you're exhausted. I've watched people go through this, and when they finally reach the end, they can't even enjoy it as the path to get there was so agonizing, or worse yet, they wonder why they even did it in the first place. Remember what we talked about earlier. When you have processes in place, you may discover the journey you are on is not the right one and save yourself from a long trip that never had the destination you were hoping for. When we have a process, we build measuring points or success points along the way. Places that we can stop and look at how far we've come based on where we began. This may seem pointless to you if you struggle celebrating the small victories as I do. But I am living proof that honestly, celebrating each completed step will keep your motivation high and your excitement for the ultimate goal very high. Something else that I have neglected to mention is that by completing the small steps, you'll sometimes realize that the next step is different than you originally thought it would be. This in itself can help you stay on track and save time that straying off in the wrong direction would have cost you. So in other words, processes are all about doing the right things in the right order, knowing that ultimately you will find success at an extremely high level. You get to control processes unlike outcomes. Let's go back to the 20 pounds. The goal of losing 20 pounds is not going to happen just by stating that this is the desired outcome. There must be steps that are thought out, measurable, and accountable along the way. You control all the processes, as we said. So for example, researching healthy eating would be a step to the next step of writing a meal plan. You might also be including exercise in this road to shedding 20 pounds. Defining what type of exercise you would enjoy and would give you the desired results would be a process piece on the way to either hiring a trainer or sharing your goals or defining your own workout schedule. You can see how you can break this down as far as you want. Some people need that small dose of dopamine that comes from short bursts of success, while others can have a little larger process and still make progress forward. You're going to figure that out as you start planning things out. If there are things that are being overlooked, then add a process. If you feel that you have been trudging forward with no results, then back up and see how it can be broken down a little bit further. Remember, the processes are totally in your control. By doing the process, your mind will move to focusing on processes versus results, which is exactly what you want. We know that anytime we're trying to achieve something new at a high level, there's going to be a certain percentage of frustration that comes from inconsistent results. We can't change that, but by looking at a process instead of a result, the slowdowns or outright failures are not so glaringly in our face, and we're able to move to the next process with less emotion and mental fatigue. Using process goals as opposed to outcome goals can help eliminate the highs and lows, as there's always an achievable process in the wings. By continuing to trust the process, the results will likely follow. Here's what I challenge you to do. Look at a goal that you're wanting to accomplish, whether it be a business or personal goal, and break it down into smaller steps. Ask yourself, what is the first thing that I need to do to move the needle even just a little bit? Maybe you have a child that wants to attend a 4-year Division I university on the East Coast. What would have to happen first? Many people look at that outcome goal and be so overwhelmed with cost, distance, etc., that they would never have enough information to make an educated decision. Maybe that process starts with a list of schools, majors offered, then the cost of each, then scholarships available, application process, etc. As you can see, each one of those steps moves things one little inch closer, and none of them are daunting. So I hope this has helped you think about taking those amazing goals you have and making them more attainable. Essentially, you're taking back control. Please help us out by hitting like and sharing with 3 people that you know have big dreams and are high level like yourself. Visit us at focusforwardbusinessdesign.com to schedule your free one-on-one strategy session with me to help put some pieces in place that will get you where you're going faster. And remember, at the end of the day, it is always your choice to focus forward.
Let's be revolutionary. Yeah, we could be so much more.